Bleh.
Well, yeah, when I first saw that, I was like, wow, okay, this is tying in two things together that are important to me. Like at the time, very fast music, although I liked all kinds of music, but at the time I was really into hardcore and the horror stuff. So I was
Hmm.
like, all right, this is great. And just I really like aesthetically it was, even though the cover was very, you know, I met Mad Mark Rudin, at one point, and
You met him.
yeah, in
Oh my God,
California.
what was that like?
Just met him for a second. When
Wow.
when Scott Wilkins was singing for Electric Frankenstein in the '90s, he was at one of our shows, and I just
Wow.
got to meet him for a brief moment. Um, and even though the covers were confusing, like there's a lot going on here, a lot to take in, like, but the I know people love the covers and the artwork, and I do too. I love it, and it was scary as fuck to me as a kid. But the lettering of the song titles
Mm.
on the back in the corner was so simplistic to me that I loved it. Like I loved looking at it, the way it was laid out, just the block, the capital letters, the block lettering in white, and then, Glenn Danzig vocals, Jerry Only bass, Doyle
Right.
guitar, Robo drums, engineered by Spot. Like I was like, wow, that's straight to the point. No special thanks to blah 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 and recorded at blah blah blah. Like I had seen so much that I was like, wow, this is like it gave me all the information that I needed to know in a quick second, and I was great with it. Like I loved the way it was laid out. Just Hellhound, Blood Feast, Devil Lock, Queen Wasp. You know what I mean? Like it just was very immediate to me, and it just artistically it just kind of spoke to me. I don't think I've ever met anybody else that appreciated that part of it, and I don't know if you have, but I'm not an artist. I have great admiration for artists. Like, Haim is a brilliant artist, and so was, Erie and Glenn, of
He's also
course.
really good at Photoshop and layout. I mean, the
Yeah,
dude is a genius.
we'll get to him, but just
Yeah.
to finish real quick
Go
up with
ahead. Go
Earth
ahead.
AD, and just like the label on the record, when you looked at the record and it was like the same artwork from the cover on the label and that
Right.
same lettering, like I just really liked it. I liked the aesthetic quality of it, and it was I had never heard a record that sounded like that before. It just sounded scary. Like it frightened
Yeah.
me, you know,
Yeah.
and we're all attracted to things that frighten us.
Of course.
And that's what kind of drew me in. And then I started seeing some of the other ones, some of the other singles and stuff, and as crudely as they may have looked, they just had something to them that was very appealing to me. You know,
Right.
and so that was my. And then after I had gotten later, I had gotten the German pressing, which had um, "Die Die My Darling" and "We Bite" and "Mommy." So I had to have both of them, which I got
Of
them, and then I
course.
got then later on I got the 12-inch, the Die Die 12-inch and stuff. I tried to collect as much as I could. So yeah, so that was Earth AD was my first, and I always thought it was kind of cool because it was Earth AD slash Wolf's Blood, like it was two.
It's a
Was it?
double EP.
Well, yeah, it's a double EP, and nobody ever says
They think
Misfits
of it
Wolf's
as an
Blood.
album. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an album, but then once I forget who pointed it out to me.
Kind
I
of
don't
blows your
remember who,
mind.
but I was like, I never looked at it like that before.
Yeah.
Like, it was a double EP, but yet we never
One
referred
EP
to it as
is
that.
Wolf's Blood and one EP is Earth AD.
Right, but we
And
never think, and I never saw them separate. I never saw
right.
just Wolf's Blood by itself or just Earth AD by itself. So I never related that till somebody pointed it out to me.
Right.
And you know, nerd kind of shit. The more you investigate and you look and you ask and you talk and you think and you bring up your own conspiracy theories sometimes.
Oh, I do that all the time. All the time. I always put a disclaimer that I don't know if I know what I'm talking about, but I always love. And here's a great one. Here's a great hot take that I can't take credit for it. That Earth AD is actually sort of not that they thought of this at the time, but in retrospect, is kind of like a concept album. and that Earth AD is really one song in 9 parts, you know, that it's like,
I never looked at it like
oh
that.
yeah, that it's one continuous song about, hell on earth,
What happens
you know,
after what happens after a great apocalypse or
right
something?
after Doomsday. That's
Yeah.
so it's one song divided into 9 parts. I don't now if you say, okay, well, what do those parts mean? Nothing. I'm just saying that if you think about the aesthetic feel, because here's the thing, and again, we could talk about this probably until we're blue in the face. No matter what it was supposed to sound like, because we can go on and on. Oh, it's supposed to be slow. Oh, it's supposed to be like Samhain. Oh, it's supposed to be breakneck speed, hardcore, blah, 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 blah. Well, Jerry and Doyle had influence there. Oh, no, Glenn was sleeping. Whatever the case
Hmm.
was, all of those songs are sound and are mixed kind of uniformly together.
Yes.
Along with that, the concept, if there is a concept, and there's not, but I'm saying that if you were to retroactively think of it as a concept album, is just simply the juxtaposition of those songs
Mm.
with that cover. The
Hmm.
cover is the visual both covers really
Yeah.
are the
Yeah.
visual
That's
representations of that. And
that
that's it.
was yeah. The record sounded like the covers, the
Right.
back and the front cover. That's yeah. It seemed
Right.
it was like a complete package to me.
Yep.
And that's one of the that's what I loved about it is that it looked scary, it sounded scary, and it's a lot of shit going on, which is when you really like break it down, like, oh, is it supposed to be Robo in the corner?
Right.
Is that Doyle in the middle?
The
You
Evil
know,
Dead, there's Ash's sister from
the
the
little
Evil
crimson
Dead.
ghost is in there somewhere.
Yep.
Kind of copied to kind of segue a little bit
Go ahead.
on the Rosemary's Babies record,
Yes.
the way they did the collage of everybody.
Like
Was
Walk Among
was it
Us too.
was it patterned after that? And right, was it patterned after Walk Among Us? Was it patterned after Earth AD? Was it their take on it? Like they were fans of it and they wanted to make their record kind of look that way?